Joining us now to break down where we stand one day after the election is Rose Tennent, a conservative commentator and advisory board member for Women for Trump, who's been following the situation in Pennsylvania very, very closely. So, Rose, you're perfect to have on the program tonight. We knew that this race would come through the Rust Belt, the Midwest, and now we're seeing that it might come down to Pennsylvania. What are you hearing on the ground there?
Well, I'm hearing quite a bit, and thanks. It's nice to be back on with you again. Yeah, right now the margin is 300,000. Last night, I think when we all went to bed, it was around 600,000. We woke up this morning to a little over 580,000. So the margin right now, I'm being told, is 300,000, and for votes for Trump. Now, the Democrats can't make up that kind of margin. We are told now that we have about 1 million votes left to count. While some of them are in Philly County, a lot of them are in counties that are Trump supporters, heavily red counties. So we are very hopeful about that here in Pennsylvania. We are concerned, though, because let me tell you something. We are fabled and story and song for our cheating. I mean, we've got it down to an art form here in Pennsylvania. So there are a lot of concerns, and we get a lot of stories coming out of certain counties. The cameras went down overnight in the counting room. So that's being investigated. There are a lot of things that are being investigated right now in the state. We have a heavy cadre of lawyers that are in Philadelphia right now. We have at least one lawyer representing the Trump administration, the Trump campaign, I should say, I'm sorry, in every one of the counties, at least one. So there's an eyeball on everything that's going on. The Trump campaign believes that they are going to win this. It'll be declared on Friday. So they're pretty optimistic about this. In Pennsylvania, this is something, well, we expected it all along. And the thing is, this time around, it's not voter repression or suppression. It's ballot fraud. This is what we're most concerned about. Are they manufacturing ballots? Can those ballots, are the postmarks smudged? If they're not in their sleeve, can we really identify who the voter is, who the vote belongs to? There are so many questions and so many ways that voter fraud can be committed right now in this state. It's overwhelming for a lot of us. We are optimistic that we'll make it through this. I hope the president's right about Friday, but it's very sad to see that we are in this place right now in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and this is something too where I think everybody doesn't want to have any doubts no matter what the outcome. You just want to know that it's a legitimate outcome. And I think that's something too that we're not necessarily getting. And a lot of it is just optics. I mean, for example, last night, Pennsylvania announced that they were going to stop counting some of the votes. And even before the election took place, they were saying that they're not going to start counting some of the mail-in and absentee ballots until the morning after the election. And I think that raised a lot of red flags for a lot of people. So I want to ask you, from this point forward, what does the process of counting the votes look like? And do you suspect that it'll end in a court battle?
Yeah, I definitely believe there are going to be battles. And I want to say something too. Our attorney general had said, but prior to the election night, that on election night, it will look as though Trump has won, but he will not win after election night. That's another huge red flag for us. So if people are looking at us, it's not that we're sore losers, not at all. But we want to know that it was fair and that all the ballots were counted, the legal ballots were counted. And that's a distinction that we want to make. If they're not legal, we don't want them counted here in Pennsylvania.
No, and I think that's really what it's going to come down to in the court system as well. I know that, for example, that 3-day ballot extension, that's something that will probably be litigated once again in the state of Pennsylvania. Yeah. But there are also questions, too. It's not just in Pennsylvania, other states as well that we're hearing there's probably looming litigation when it comes to, for example, signatures and different. Right. We're hearing in Arizona that some people were given a Sharpie, for example, to fill out their ballots, and those aren't being counted. There are a lot of questions, and it's a real shame that here we are in 2020 in the most prosperous country in the entire world. I can have my cell phone right here to do whatever I want. Yet we can't necessarily just get our election system figured out. I mean, the fact that here we are 24 hours later from election night, still wondering what the outcome is in these crucial states that knew they were going to be getting a surge in ballots is a little bit troubling, to say the least. But big picture, no matter what we're looking at too, President Trump, Republicans outperformed what they were expected to do, according to many of those in the media. What does this say about polling, the media, pundits, etc.?
I think that very few people are going to put much weight into what pollsters have to say in the future. As a matter of fact, I even suspect that this time around, we gave them less credence and less weight than we did even in 2016. So most of us were on to the pollsters. We're on to the polls. We don't trust them. And a lot of people weren't even really very honest about who they were voting for because there was still that fear. They didn't want to talk about their vote for President Trump. And I have to tell you, just having traveled the state from one end to the other multiple times since June, honestly, the enthusiasm level for Trump was something that I hadn't even seen in 2016. And when we saw that in certain counties here, when they were seeing that the numbers started to change and that Trump was becoming the lead in those ballots, suddenly those counties shut down and said, that's it for the night. And we find that all very suspicious. So going forward, I hope that we have something a little better in place. And I don't want to see any extensions again in the future. So these are all things that we need to work on, and they're of great concern to many people in the state of Pennsylvania. And in fact, they always have been.
Yeah, and Rose, when we're talking about polling, we're not talking about 1 point off, 2 points off. ABC Washington Post just a week ago said that President Trump was down 17 points in the state of Wisconsin. 17 points. That is equivalent to me just calling up 10 people in the state and hoping that I fall within 2 people of getting the poll right, and I don't get paid as much as pollsters do. I mean, it's absurd how off they were. But before I let you go, too, you mentioned the idea of the enthusiasm there, and we're seeing that perhaps women especially may have been not being upfront with some pollsters and coming out and then, for example, supporting President Trump despite what many criticisms from their friends or those in the media may say. Is that what you're seeing in Pennsylvania?
That's what I saw in Pennsylvania over the summer and into the fall. And a lot of women, they're very concerned about security and lawlessness, and they kept quiet about it, but they would tell me personally that they really were counting on President Trump to have their back, to protect this country, and to protect those that they care about.
Yeah.
And they also care a lot about law enforcement, too.
Yeah.
I heard a lot from women about wanting to support law enforcement and wanting to know that the president was solidly behind them, and he was.
Yeah, and it's a shame where people feel like they have to hide their political opinion in this modern day culture where they could be canceled, they could be fired for their jobs for saying, you know what, I don't like rioting in Philadelphia, and then that somehow gets all lumped in with racism or something like that. It's a weird time that we're living in. It's a non-truth moment too. But Rose Tennent, I really appreciate you coming on the program tonight, breaking down what we're seeing in Pennsylvania. Thank you.